I found it amazing in this story. You know, we always hear about how Mary was the one that sat at Jesus' feet, and Martha was out in the kitchen always cooking, and we remember the story that Mary was said that Mary has chosen the better. But now we never really talk about Martha. Martha, when she heard that he was coming, she didn't even wait for him to get there. She went out to meet him exactly where he was at. And Mary stayed at home. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I know that she wanted to be one that talked to Jesus because she knew in her heart that he could do anything. And I find it also amazing in here that her words to him, it says, Lord, I know you can, it says, but even now I know, Lord, that whatever you ask, God will give you. Right away she says that to him. And you knew she believed that totally and completely in her heart. And he said, well, he will be raised. You know, it'll be okay. Don't worry about it. But in the next verse, Martha says, I know he will again raise at the resurrection on the last day. And what I got out of them two verses is how confused we are as Christians. In one voice we say, yes, Lord, we trust you. We know that you are God. We know that we will follow you. We know that you can fix anything and everything that there is. But in the next voice we kind of go, maybe not. Anybody feel that way? Yeah, we kind of argue with ourselves. Where is our faith? Do we really believe that God can reach out and touch? You know, we have in our, and I guess that's what this is about today. It's going to be about Martha more. Because Martha's a lot like us. And we're a lot like Martha. We don't understand a lot of things. We are told that we should pray for everybody. And pray for their healing. And we do that faithfully. But then when they don't get healed, then we have questions. Did we do it wrong?
No.
No. We know that God hurt us. Did we do it wrong? No. But we still have that haunting suspicion in our lives that it didn't exactly go the way we thought it should go. And that's where the rubber meets the road. It doesn't really go the way we think it should go. Because we already have our own things that, we don't just pray to God, actually. We do. We lift our voices up and say, God, can you do this and this and this? And we don't really say do it this way and this way and this way because we're not that arrogant that we can think that we can tell God how we can do it. We just expect him to read our mind, actually. And there's a lot of times we don't verbalize it, but in our heart it's still there. And you got to remember, Jesus doesn't just hear the words. He reads the heart. And all of us, you know, if all our prayers were answered and the people that we want to love and live and let them grow more, there wouldn't hardly be any dead people in the world. They would still all be alive. And we all know in our own heart that we only have a certain time here in this place. Lazarus died unexpectedly. And they waited and waited and waited for Jesus to show up. He didn't show up till the fourth day. And you kind of wonder, and they wonder, why the fourth day? Well, the Jews have this belief also that the spirit does not leave the body until the third day. So anything can happen between the first of the death and the third day. They can get up and walk again. It might have been that the doctors really didn't know what they were doing at that point in time, but that was their belief, that you are really not dead until after the third day. Then your body just starts to deteriorate, and there's, you know, so roll the stone away, and so Martha was quite concerned about that too. Well, you can't do that, it'll stink. You know, oof, that'll be a bad odor. Most of the caskets that they have there, or the tombs that they have, are out of rock walls, caves, and there's a little hole down on the one end, way to the top, and all of them have a stone rolled in front, and that's where the air comes in and goes out at, is that little hole in the front, until they're finally, there's no more odor there. So can you imagine what Mary and Martha were going through when Jesus said, roll the stone away? Ugh, this is not going to be pretty. They're still human beings. This man is dead. What are you going to do with a dead man? You know? And resurrection, and that totally surprised me, that resurrection was only talked about in the New Testament, where Jesus says, I am the resurrection and the life. I can raise who I want. They don't have to be dead. I can bring them up. And we've seen so many places in there where he said to the centurion, go home, your daughter is well. And she was dying. Go home. And the centurion just went. And he said, I've never seen such faith as that man, not even in Israel. Because he took Jesus Christ at his word. And he went home. But here's Mary and Martha. They have already done the grieving, already been weeping for Lazarus, already have the pain in their heart that their brother was no longer with them. And now Jesus wants to roll the stone away. And it says Jesus wept. Well, that's called compassion. How many of you can watch a movie and see something that touches your heart? And the tears come down, rolling down your face. You're not really weeping, but you are crying because the tears give you away. And sometimes it just surprises you that the tears are already there. Jesus is looking around and seeing all the people here. And he's seeing the heart that are breaking within them because Lazarus has died. And so he also weeps for the people because he has compassion on them. He knows the pain that they're going through. And so they ask to roll the stone away. And he groans within himself. And I thought that was kind of a strange one too, that he groans within. Because he looks at all the people, and Tom was telling me this morning of a gentleman that is a shrink, counselor, I guess is a better word than shrink, psychologist, whatever. He's got a lot of money into this. And the Jews and a lot of our country is the same way. A lot of people are the same way. They don't want to be healed. They like their lives just as it is. And that's why a lot of people do not want Jesus Christ. He would interfere in their life. He would cause them to do something that they don't really want to do because they would miss all the rest of the stuff that they're doing that they shouldn't be doing. So that's what Jesus sees. He sees all these people out there around Martha and Lazarus and Mary. They're friends. They're all Jewish. And most of them will not believe in him as Jesus Christ, the Son of God. And there's nothing he can do about that. He can show them. And that's why this is. With Lazarus, why did he die? Jesus already told us. For the people to see the glory of God. So standing there that day, surrounded by all those that are mourning, all those that are weeping, Jesus comes and says, roll it away. Picks up his hands and says, Lazarus, so the people know that he's talking to God, not just to an empty wall, looks up and says, Lazarus, come out. I don't know how long it took. I don't know what the people's expressions were on their faces. But all of a sudden, through the darkness, here comes a man walking towards them out of the tomb. Where do you go with that? Where do you go from sadness to now it's joy? Because this one that we had lost is now alive again. And what amazes me also is nobody ran up to him until Jesus says, go on, wrap him. Take the grave clothes off. What was mourning and sadness is now a celebration of the resurrection of life. And Jesus wants to tell them again, I am the resurrection and the life. Believe in me. I am the one that does this through God our Father. I am the one who gives life here on earth. You don't have to wait till you're dead to get life. You get it here. So many of us have been through trials and kind of sad times. There's a lot of things that are going on. Our world is unstable. Families are having difficult times. There's a lot of drugs and everything else out there that kind of pulls all our kids away. And our kids are kind of not growing up. They're kind of thinking that they're going to wait till they're at least 40 before they decide they're an adult, if they can make it that far. So our world that we used to live in is not so safe anymore either. And so we have a lot of prayers that go up to God. But do we trust Him? The world is still going to act like they're nuts. That's the world. That's the world Jesus Christ was into. But those who will listen, those who will seek, them He loves. He loves them all. But the ones that follow Him become His all the way through life. And when we do that, we are like Lazarus. We become from the dead, we receive life in Jesus Christ. And it's not just life, it's life abundantly. So when the world starts falling apart, we know exactly who we can turn to. It might not change the situation, but we know we don't have to walk